A casual scroll through Google Maps led to a shocking discovery about my wife I wasn't ready for. I saw her crawling out from under our porch, but what she had been hiding there hit me harder and left me in tears. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video with your friends. Would you believe me if I told you that Google Maps helped me uncover a secret my wife was hiding? A secret that left me in tears? Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. I'm George, your average 43-year-old family guy. Got a wonderful wife, Sally, 2 amazing kids, and a cozy yellow house in a quiet neighborhood. Life was pretty good until that day when everything changed. It all started when I bumped into my neighbor Ferdinand. We all call him Old Freddy. I was out for my usual evening walk when I spotted him fiddling with his phone, looking all antsy. "Hey, Freddy. What's got you all worked up, pal?" I called out, waving as I approached. Freddy's head snapped up, and for a second I swear he looked like a deer caught in headlights. Hey George," he stammered, trying to act casual but failing miserably. Just, checking out the new Google Maps update. They drove through our neighborhood recently, updated all the street views and stuff." Something about the way he said it made me pause. His voice had this nervous edge to it, like he was hiding something. But before I could ask anything else, he quickly changed the subject. "So, how's Sally? And the kids?" Freddy asked, his eyes darting around like he couldn't wait to end the conversation. I raised an eyebrow, but played along. "They're good, thanks for asking. Listen, I should get going. Sally's probably wondering where I am." As I walked away, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Little did I know that Freddy's update on Google Maps was about to send me down a rabbit hole I never expected. On my way home, I couldn't get Freddy's words out of my head. Google Maps update, huh? Maybe I could catch those pesky flower thieves red-handed. Or better yet, catch a glimpse of my kids playing in the yard. With a chuckle, I pulled out my phone and typed in our address. The satellite view loaded, and I zoomed in on our gorgeous yellow house, contrasting the pink monstrosity next door. Everything looked normal at first. The lawn that needed trimming, my prized camellias along the fence, and the driveway drizzled with dried leaves. But then I saw something that made my heart skip a beat. There, partially obscured by the porch, was a figure. A person, crawling out from underneath. I blinked hard, certain I was seeing things. But no, it was clear as day. And the person crawling out? It was Sally. My Sally. My mind raced. What on earth was she doing under there? Was she hiding something? From me? Without thinking, I bolted like a lunatic, my feet carrying me straight to the porch. I dropped to my knees, ignoring the bite of gravel through my jeans. I peered into the darkness beneath. Come on, I muttered, fishing my phone out to use as a flashlight. The beam caught something, a corner of cardboard poking out from behind a support beam. My heart started to pound as I reached in, my fingers stretching until they brushed against the box. It was wedged in tight, but I was determined. Grunting with effort, I slowly worked it free, inch by painstaking inch. After what felt like hours but was probably only 20 minutes, I finally pulled it out. I sat back on my heels, covered in dirt and sweat, staring at this mysterious box that had been hidden under our porch. Just as I was about to open it, I heard the familiar rumble of Sally's car pulling into the driveway. I froze, caught red-handed with her secret quite literally in my lap. The car door slammed, and I heard Sally's footsteps racing towards me. George! What are you—" She stopped short, her face draining of color as she saw the box. "Oh, no! No, 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 George, put it back! Don't look, please!" I stared at her, my mind whirling. What could be so terrible that she'd react like this? "Sally, what's going on? Why was this thing hidden under the porch?" She bit her lip, looking torn between confession and keeping her secret. "It's nothing. Please put it back." Her urgent tone had me on edge, but my curiosity won. As Sally watched in shock, I tore the seal and lifted the lid, bracing myself for the worst. But what I saw inside left me speechless. A brand new synthesizer stared back at me. Not just any synthesizer, but the exact model I dreamed of owning for years. The one I'd pointed out in music store windows, lingered over in catalogs, but never bought because, well, life got in the way. "It was supposed to be a surprise," Sally sighed. "Oh my God, Sally. How did you—" She knelt beside me, her eyes shining. "You think I didn't notice how you still look at those music magazines? Or how your fingers tap out rhythms when you think no one's watching? I know you gave up so much when we started our family, George. I wanted to give a piece of that dream back to you." I ran my fingers over the synthesizer keys, feeling a lump form in my throat. All those years of quiet longing, and here it was, because of my Sally. Because she had seen the part of me I thought I'd hidden away. "It was supposed to be for your birthday next month, dummy," she continued, half laughing, half sighing. "I can't believe you found it. How did you even know to look there? Did the kids give me away?" I chuckled weakly, wiping my eyes. No, not the kids. It was, never mind. You wouldn't believe me if I told you." Sally raised an eyebrow, clearly confused, but she just shook her head and smiled. "Well, surprise ruined or not, why don't we take this inside? I bet the kids would love to hear you play." As we carried the synthesizer into the house, I couldn't help but marvel at how life works out sometimes. Here I was, thinking I'd given up on my dreams when really, they'd just been waiting for the right moment to come true. That evening after dinner, I sat at the synthesizer. My family gathered around me. My fingers hovered over the keys, suddenly unsure. It had been so long since I'd played anything more complex than chopsticks. "Dad?" My daughter piped up. "Are you going to play something?" I took a deep breath, closed my eyes, and let my fingers find their way. The first few notes were hesitant, but then muscle memory kicked in. Before I knew it, I was lost in the music, playing a melody I'd composed years ago but never finished. As the last notes faded away, I opened my eyes to see my family staring at me in awe. "Wow, Dad," my son clapped. "That was amazing." Sally's eyes were glistening with tears. "I knew you still had it in you," she said softly. In that moment, surrounded by the people I loved most in the world, I realized something truly touching. I hadn't lost my dream when I chose this life. I'd just been writing a different kind of music, the kind made up of first steps and bedtime stories, of shared laughter and quiet moments of love. "Thank you. Thank you for believing in me, even when I'd forgotten how to believe in myself," I said. Sally leaned in and kissed my cheek. "Always," she whispered. The next day, I couldn't resist checking out Freddie's house on Google Maps. After all, his weird behavior had led me to my own discovery. What I saw had me in stitches. There, in his backyard, was Freddie himself, crouched behind a bush. In his hands, an ice pop his wife had prohibited him from eating. When I ran into him later that day, I couldn't help but grin. "So, Freddie, how's that diet going?" He paled, then sputtered, "I don't know what you're talking about." I laughed, clapping him on the shoulder. "Don't worry, your secret's safe with me." Freddie's eyes widened in understanding. Then he broke into a sheepish grin. "Guess I got caught by that darn Google car, huh?" We shared a good laugh over that, two grown men united in our silly secrets. As I walked home, I couldn't help but reflect on the strange turns life can take. A chance conversation, a curious peek at a map, and suddenly everything changes. But change, I've learned, isn't always bad. Sometimes, it's exactly what we need to remember, who we really are. That night, as I played my new synthesizer, with Sally curled up beside me and the kids dancing around the living room, I felt truly, deeply happy. Not because I'd reclaimed some lost part of myself, but because I realized I'd never really lost it at all. It had been here all along, in the life I'd built, in the love that surrounded me. Life has a funny way of revealing mysteries, right, folks? If you've ever made a funny or thrilling discovery that made you laugh, cry, or cringe, drop it in the comments. Who knows, your story might be the next adventure waiting to happen.